If you see any one of your colleague has been detained by your enemy, kill him. This is Hannibal protocol. This is the actual mentality of Israeli forces. Talking about it since 1948. 600 villages has been swiped. All the Palestinians today, they are united under one word, because Israel does not differentiate between Hamas and Fatah and Jihad Islami. They killed everyone who is known to be Palestinian. No one should be believed that Israel wants peace. They want simply to have everything and to give nothing. Our people has been collectively punished because of their own democratical choice, because they have chosen to be with the resistance. A Palestinian land historically belonged to us, and according to the international law is an occupied territory, has been invaded by American forces.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to program Inside in View News English Pakistan. As situation in occupied Gaza is still continuing, Israeli bombardment is taking place, and at the same time there are international efforts which are underway for truce, and but nobody knows when these efforts will succeed. But at the same time, there are also behind-the-scene negotiations between the Gaza organization, Hamas, and Israeli authorities. There are so many parties, there are so many characters which are involved currently in the conflict. There is also an issue of humanitarian assistance. The people who are in the Rafah refugee camps, they're in terrible condition. They are short of food, short of water, and every day Israeli bombardment is being made on them. Over the last couple of weeks, hundreds of more Palestinians, residents of Gaza, have lost their life. It's a great tragedy of this time. And to discuss these all and the future prospects of peace, truce, negotiations, one of the renowned Palestinian leader, Hamas spokesman, Mr. Khalid Kadumi is with us. Fortunately, he is on a visit to Pakistan and spared time with the V News English. Khalid Kadumi, sir, very warm welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Just tell us, our viewers, that where the current this Gaza conflict stands now, particularly after the UN General Assembly resolutions, after the resolution by UN Security Council, and after the historic verdict of International Court of Justice, where the conflict stands now, keeping in view, there are also reports that talks are underway between Israeli authorities and Hamas. Give us a candid perspective. What is, where this situation is heading?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you for having me with you. Actually, we are, after 9 months, facing a stubborn, extremist, criminal mentality at the leadership of Israel. That is the conclusion of the situation over there.
There is no doubt that they are having a criminal mentality.
And that is the major and direct reason for the stalemate situation, for the cul-de-sac where the international community is in today, just because of such mentality. I keep reiterating, it's not the content of the deal, it is the mentality and the attitude with the people you are dealing with. They don't want to pay the tax of peace. They don't want to compromise on the aspect that they have perpetrated continuous war crimes and violations for human rights for the last 74 years. Now the international community, including the creators of Israel, I mean over here, the Western powers, the four Western powers, in front of the majority of the world, they are isolated. And now we have come to a conclusion that we are facing a big challenge to the humanity. Are they going to impose the justice over the criminals or not? 40,000 shaheed, martyrs, 70% of them women and children. UNRWA is saying that it is
over
a war.
80%
UNRWA is saying it's a war against women and it is
children.
And children, oh yes. But on the other hand, woman over here is mother, sister, because they are attacking over residential units.
True.
60% of the infrastructure of Gaza today has been destroyed by AI, by projects which has been improvised by the Israeli computers to specify the targets through the Lavender program. That program has specified 40,000 targets to say
targets are being made under a planning.
Under computer, AI.
Under computer.
The computer specified this is to be attacked. Imagine, without any human intervention. So this is the actual face of Israel, which we've been talking about it since 1948. 600 villages has been swiped from the map then, and nobody was even taking care of that, of those incidents. It's just we are with the flow. Today, we need to stand, we need to stop, to ring the bell that there is something wrong happening against humanity. It's not the actually fighting happening in a geography of 365 square kilometers in a coastal strip in Gaza. It is the superpowers, the Biden administration, which they are not imposing or applying enough diplomatic pressure over Netanyahu, extreme rightist government who do not want to pay the tax of peace.
So, Khalid Kaduzmi Saab, there is also a portion in Palestine which is known as West Bank, headed by Mr. Mahmoud Abbas, who is the president of Palestine, and it is called Palestinian Liberation Authority, PLA. Right. So where does this part of the Palestine, the West Bank, how much support they are giving you, how much role they have played over the last 9 months that you have told us that it has been one of the toughest, one of the turbulent time for the people of Gaza, people of Palestine. So tell us something about President Mahmoud Abbas. Did he extend any support? Were you together in some negotiations, some talks, something like that?
This is a very important point you have raised over here.
Yes.
Which shows us the actual face of the Israeli criminals. There is no tufan, there is no flood in West Bank. Nevertheless,
it's peaceful?
Nevertheless, over the 9 months, we have 500 martyrs being killed by cold blood by the Israelis.
In West Bank.
In West Bank. We have 5,000 prisoners. It is showing you why we have done this flood. Why we have came with these...
Flood al-Aqsa.
Yes, flood of al-Aqsa. That is because Israel, who has claimed that they have peace process with President Mahmoud Abbas, who has claimed that they want a peace, 15, 17 years, Netanyahu did not pick a call from President Mahmoud Abbas, failing and fiasco of the whole process over there. All the Palestinians today, they are united under one word, that we want...
There is no division?
No, we want our legitimate rights. Because Israel does not differentiate between Hamas and Fatah and Jihad Islami. They killed everyone who is known to be Palestinian because they don't want Palestinians to live. They do not consider us human beings. That is the major issue which is to be known by President Mahmoud Abbas and everybody. That nobody today can be saved with the so-called political or diplomatic approach. Status quo ante to 7th of October. We were living under embargo. Our children, they were slain because of lack of the basic needs of life, dignitorious life in Gaza and in West Bank. In West Bank, we have more than 600 permanent checking points, in around 500 plus square kilometers, which they are scattered everywhere, and they cut the life of the people. The distance to the school inside the village, which used to be taking walking distance of 5 minutes, today you need to travel for 1.5 hours because of those checkpoints.
Exactly.
This is the actual mentality of Israel. No one should be believed that Israel wants peace. They want simply to have everything and to give nothing.
So then tell us about your organization and particularly Gaza. Gaza is getting diplomatic, military, economic support from which countries? Since you have a separate administration.
See, when you talk about Hamas, Hamas today, the main success point in it, that it has left the constraints of the political partisan to be the pulse of the street, to form practical ideas like the common room in 2014, where it has where it is membered by the whole Palestinian factions, including Al-Aqsa Brigade, which belongs to Fatah, including Jihad Islami, including others. So they are together running the show to defend the rights, the legitimate rights of our people. On the other hand, the government of Hamas, which is also member of those parliamentarians and the official figures which has been elected directly by the people since 2006, the presidential election and the parliamentary election, which has been witnessed by President Jimmy Carter himself, that it was transparent and democratic. We've been running the show since then. But our people has been collectively punished because of their own democratical choice, because they have chosen to be with the resistance. They have chosen to be with the idea that can save their rights, that can return them back to their home, that can save their holy shrines, Christian and Muslims together inside Palestine. Today, we are running the humanitarian crisis over there. We are stuck with the de facto issues by saying that we have only one border between us, one crossing gate between us and Egypt, that is the Rafah crossing. And unfortunately, it's almost 1 month today that Israeli forces has occupied
that
Rafah
point
gate.
is now with the Israeli forces.
That has been occupied by them. And unfortunately, we didn't find any solid stance from Egyptian brothers because this is a direct threat to the national security of Egypt. For us in Gaza, we're fighting on the ground. In Rafah, alhamdulillah, thank God that our fighters, they have shown steadfastness and successful in the field, military-wise, against the Israeli forces.
Despite the fact the Israeli forces are in the battleground now, they are with the tanks, their troops are moving.
Yes, but they are being killed by the fighters over there. And the soldiers themselves, they are suffering, and they are asking their leadership to stop this war, but their leadership, they don't care even about themselves. The last mission, which has been conducted by the American forces and the Israeli forces through the seaport, and the mission which has been the attack over Ansarat camp, the refugee camp over there, they have killed 240 Palestinian civilian children and women in order to release 4 Israeli prisoners who came to kill our people, and we have taken them from the field of the war. And they have also killed another 3 Israelis.
They have killed?
Yes. Other than those 4, they have killed many Israelis. Hannibal Protocol is a protocol in the Israeli army that tells the Israeli soldiers not to allow anyone to be detained by the enemy. If you see any one of your colleague has been detained by your enemy, kill him. This is Hannibal Protocol. This is the actual mentality of Israeli forces. So this is the actual face of American administration and the Israeli, which they have claimed that they want to build up the seaport for the humanitarian aid. And as all of a sudden we found the mercenaries, we found their forces, they are landing in our soil in Gaza. A Palestinian land historically belonged to us, and according to the international law is an occupied territory, has been invaded by American forces directly. And then Blinken and Biden are talking about ceasefire, and they are also proposing something in the Security Council. And you don't know what to believe, their deeds or
this
those
is what
statements.
My next question is. What is Hamas' viewpoint on these proposals which have been moved before the Security Council? And quickly connected to that is, since more than 35,000 Palestinians have been killed, so what are your conditions for the truce, for the peace? So 2 parts. First, your view on the Security Council proposal.
Sir, in Hamas, we believe with the holistic approach of resistance. Hence, we have the military activities as the backbone of our resistance. But on the other hand, we believe in the diplomatic, political, media activities. Hence, the narrative today of Palestinian, it has clicked even in the Columbia University, in the streets of America. And that is a big success for the resistance approach in dealing with the situation. Today,
Security Council proposal.
we are in front of a big dilemma that the international community, Security Council, General Council, they have stacks of papers, they have heaps of resolutions against Israeli forces and atrocities, and no implementation. For us, why I was saying about the holistic approach, we're positive. We want the peace for our people. So let it be through shortcuts. Let the international community intervene and apply enough pressure over Israel to abide by the international community will, which we are not witnessing over here. So then we are left to our own destiny. We have agreed, we have appreciated the proposal by Security Council, and we are differentiating between among two levels of negotiation. One is the requirements of successful negotiation. Second are the demands. We did not go for the demands yet. We are still stuck with the mentality of Israeli extremist fellows over there. They are not fulfilling the requirements of any talk. How can I talk with you on the same table while you are firing against me? How can I talk again?
So you want first
these four
ceasefire.
Requirements.
Ceasefire.
Requirements. Complete ceasefire. Pacifism. Complete pull out of the Israeli forces from Gaza. And opening the Rafah gate for the humanitarian aid. The fourth is to allow those refugees to go back to their homes. 1.7 million Palestinians, they are living in a place where it was meant for 250,000.
Only.
That is Rafah.
So tell us something about, there have been very positive development that some of the European countries have recognized Palestine. How you see this particular development? There have been massive support from Spain, from Norway, and from Ireland.
See, this is a positive step towards the actual strategy and actual solution. We are not there yet. Because if you are talking about recognizing Palestine as an independent state, there is a resolution called Partition Resolution 181 in 1947, talking about 45% of the historical Palestine to be designated for something called Palestinian state. Today, which you have mentioned about Palestinian state, we are talking about membership, permanent membership, permanent membership
in the UN General
for
Assembly.
the Palestinian state in the United Nations over what? Over a Swiss cheese area. They call it Swiss cheese area because there are different isolated islets, over 18% of historical Palestine. We have a rogue state today called Israel, over 80% of the historical Palestine, against all rules and regulations of United Nations. And we have Palestinian people, they have been allowed to live on areas they are called Palestinian territories. These Palestinian territories, it's scattered. They are not even linked to each other. Hence, I gave the reference to Swiss cheese. So they are different islets, and they are not connected even. They don't have any contiguity among each other. So this is what the international community today doing, an endowment over us, a blessing over us, approving the permanent membership of Palestine. We have appreciated this step. We found it is a positive, or you could say one of the success of the flood, Al-Aqsa flood, that the international community, you mentioned South Africa, you mentioned some Latin American countries and some European countries. Today they are awake. Their human instinct inside, it's making them feeling guilty towards the actual duty they have to do in front of such a humanitarian crisis. Our people being slain with cold blood by the Israeli forces, and that has been witnessed by everybody.
So tell us something, while last time you were in Islamabad, you told us, selected friends, that Israel actually wanted to occupy this Gaza, this strip. Tell us something, what is in the Gaza Strip? Are there some natural resources? As we heard, is it true that it has billions of dollars value, gas reserves and certain other reserves? So tell us something about natural resources in Gaza Strip
Gaza is
that Israel wanted to occupy.
So Gaza, the main background or drive for Israel
what is that?
To occupy or reoccupy Gaza is multidimensional. One of them is the economy. So they have discovered, they have discovered this oil well on the shore of Gaza, and the BB company, BB Gas, British gas company, they were working over there before even 2005. But when Hamas won the election, they stopped working over there, and they left from there. And they also did not allow the Palestinian people to dig out their own oil.
They did not allow
us. Nor Israelis, nor American, nor anyone even helped us to do this thing. But I'm telling you that it is even much, much bigger than this. Israel is trying to create some buffer zone over there in order not to allow the Palestinian to be successful, to be in link with their own people in West Bank or in 1948 or in Jerusalem. That is the main issue. Hence, they have cleaned, they have bulldozed the northern area of Gaza today. We have 700,000 Palestinian people who are living in Gaza City, inside the Strip, in Gaza City and in northern area, north to the valley of Gaza, like in Jabalia and Beit Lahia. So they're still living over there in their own destroyed houses, refusing the imposed immigration or forced movement away from their home. So, and I tell you, this will never be successful. The Netzarim corridor, which has been opened by is American idea and implemented by Israel, they have bulldozed the harbor over the seaport, and they have created a corridor from sea towards the east in 2-kilometer width road. We are bombarding it. We are attacking it, and we will deal with any forces will come over there as an invasion forces. This will not work, because previously it was never worked with other experiences other than the Palestinian, and it will not work with the Palestinian in particular. Israel are unjust, and they will never succeed.
So tell us something. As you said, you're hopeful that one day the Palestinians will win. There will be peace. There will be ceasefire. What's beyond ceasefire? If it is permanent ceasefire, what are your plans? It's a huge destruction. More than 35,000 have lost lives. And as you said, 60% of the Gaza area is destroyed. What are the plans? Which are the countries which will be supporting reconstruction? Because you must have made certain plans after the peace.
See, other than if you're talking about the material reconstruction, thank God the philanthropists in Muslim Ummah, and they are a lot, away even from the official level. And you in Pakistan have offered and extended a lot of support to the Palestinian people over there in everything. I am worried in a way, politically, how they will allow those things to get in. What is the shape of the deal with the Palestinian people, the winners?
This will also be negotiated?
Yeah, of course, that will be among their demands. As I said, this is the major thing: reconstruction, political solution. Where will be the Palestinian, the shape of their own government? This is all
part of the talks.
Yeah, and we have a designated and detailed plan, which has been explained to the mediators, and that has been also conveyed to the international community. We have been practicing this thing for the last 20 years. Through democracy, through a collective position among the Palestinian factions. We have counseled with other friends and brothers and sisters in the other Palestinian factions, and we have introduced a plan. That is the political plan based on the will of the sufferings, the will of the families of the martyrs, the will of the Palestinian people. It's not American to tell us about what is going to be the next day of war. It's the Palestinian to decide that.
So tell us about the role of Iran that has been in the spotlight. So why Iran is there supporting Hamas or West Bank or Palestine, located thousands of kilometers away? What is, why Iran is taking interest in Palestine and in Gaza?
With the inception of the Islamic revolution in Iran back in late 70s, the major identity and literature which has been introduced by the founder of that revolution, Imam Khomeini, was Al-Quds, Jerusalem, and the Palestinian issue. So he has defined his relation with the region. He could be one of those countries in Central Asia, but he said, no, I am here. Since then, he has changed the type of the alliance, strategic alliance for his own country, the nascent country which still doesn't know where to put their own foot. But they have kicked out the Israelis. They have handed over the Israeli embassy to the Palestinian. It was the first Palestinian embassy, even much before something called Palestinian State or United Nations or something like that. And he has designated Al-Quds Day, that is the last Friday in Ramadan, to be an international day for the solidarity with the Palestinian. And hence, we have shared literature that we don't want to allow the oppression in the region. And one of the major issues that you can deal with is the Palestinian issue. Today, Iran are an allies. They are friends. They are brothers. They're people, they are suffering because of the political decision to be with us. They are under the siege because of they are being with the Palestinian issue, along with other people. It's not only Iran. There are many people, many governments today in the region. They are also shoulder to shoulder with the capability that they can offer. Some of them, they offer missile. Some of them, they offer charity. Some of them, they offer prayers. We are thankful to everybody.
So in the Muslim Ummah?
Yeah, of course.
No complaints against Muslim Ummah?
I cannot complain because I think that we in Tufan, in the flood, have changed the attitude of thinking towards the Israeli enemy to be the common enemy of Ummah. So today we are reminding them with their duty to defend their own national security. The time Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia standing with the Palestinian, they are defending their own capital. They are defending their own national security because Israel today is the enemy of everybody in the Muslim Ummah.
Last but not the least, so you hope in the coming weeks and months there will be ceasefire?
That all depends on two major conditions. How much Western powers, those four elite countries, which they are still stand with no accountability from the international community, the veto owners, the winners of the Second World War, they have to understand that there should be peace over there. And they have to understand it's not their duty to intervene in the affairs of the region. This region, they do not want them to be invaders. They are welcome to be friends. We don't want to fight against them. But we are not allowing anyone to interfere in our own affairs. So they have to apply enough pressure over Israel. Exactly. The second condition is the Israeli leadership with their own people, their own society members in the street against their own government.
Exactly. Every day there are demonstrations.
They have to understand they are not doing well, they are doing wrong. And the third thing is our duty in Muslim Ummah. And they also, the rational voices in the international community, do not stop talking. You should be in the street always. You raise the right, the voice of rights. I cherish and appreciate those activities of non-Muslim and non-Arab and non-Palestinian students in universities or in London and in America who are raising the voice of right inside Palestine.
Which is encouraging.
Which is encouraging and which is optimistic. It gives you a hope. It gives you a real hope that we are changing. We are reaching to the point where justice can be prevailed.
Thank you so much indeed, senior Hamas and Palestinian leader Khalid Kadumi Saab, for speaking to Program Insight. And viewers, as Khalid Kadumi Saab said, he is quite optimistic and hopeful that there will be ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, but at the conditions of the people of Gaza. That means at the conditions of Hamas. And he also said that international pressure must be increasing on Israel so that there could be an early ceasefire. And if there is an early ceasefire, immediately talks will be open and humanitarian passage will be made for besieged people of Gaza. Once again, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Khalid Qudumi Saab, speaking to Program Inside in V News English, Pakistan. Till our next program, goodbye from the studios.